Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the My Kind of Thing University page where we do some really epic stuff. And so I thought that in the midst of writing the pattern for the My Kind of Thing Lovey, I would do a little bit of it on camera, just a little bit of the work. So I'm actually being ambitious with this yarn. It's Ice Cream by Lion Brand. I think it's a lightweight. Let me see. Yeah, it is a lightweight. So I'm going to have to, of course, do it again with a regular 4-ply, but this will work for now. I just want to share with you all how I do my granny squares because I don't like to do chains in between stitches. So I'm using a 4.5 millimeter hook, and basically what I do is I chain 4 and I close it with a slip stitch to form a ring. I know lots of people like to use the magic ring. I don't. I chain 3 and then that counts as 1 double crochet, and then I do 11 double crochets in this ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, right? And then what I do is, of course, I go into the third chain of the chain 3 that I initially did, and I chain 3, and then in between I do another set of 2 double crochets, then I chain 2 and I do 3 more in that same space. And so because this is a corner, I'll skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and do 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then 3 double crochets in the same space, because right now what I'm creating is the 4 corners for the beginnings of this square. So again, corners is 3 double crochets, 2 chains, and then 3 double crochets to create this square. Skip those 3, and again chain 2, and basically I've created my square, which is so funny because it starts off like a circle, right? But you know, when you know how to use that math, you can do all kinds of shaping. And so, as you can see, I got my square. So basically, now that I know where my corners are, and hold on, let me pull a little bit more of this yarn out. And one of the reasons why I used this kind of yarn is because it has all of these colors, so I won't have to change any colors. And I thought it'd be really cool. I don't know why it's a little bit tangled in here. Call myself trying to untangle it before I went live. So, but I like how it changes colors for me, so I don't have to worry about changing colors and tucking strings. I can just use this one skein of yarn and get it going. So I'm going to chain 3, and I'm going to do 2 double crochets in that space, because remember that chain 3 counts as a double crochet. And then when I get to my corners, it's the same thing. 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 more for the corners, and then just 3 double crochets. And the cool thing is, this is how I do my granny square. I don't like doing a whole bunch of chains in between, because what happens is sometimes I forget, and then I'll have like a real issue going on with the shaping of my granny square, and sometimes you don't notice it until you've gotten far out, and then you're like, oh my gosh, now I gotta go back because, and I'm a person who goes back. I don't let it just sit because there are certain designs and things where if you don't go back and fix it, it messes up the whole shaping of it. And also, if you're following a pattern and you miss something, what it does is it also messes up your count for whatever other steps you have to do. So, see that? And how cool is that? Look how the color just changes. Now, for those of you who follow me in the My Kind of Thing page, y'all know sometimes I have issues with color changing and weird color changing. But I've decided that I'm going to commit to this. I'm going to let it do what it do. Because overall it should work out really nicely. I've used the ice cream yarn previously for Lovey, and it came out really well, so I'm not too worried. So that's kind of exciting. And so this Lovey is going to have the pacifier, of course, but I'm excited because these colors are really pretty, and I think that overall the design will be really cute. I haven't decided on what the skin tone is going to be. Some really pretty shade of brown, of course, but haven't decided on what the hairstyle is going to be. But, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, because I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm going to use black hair or pink hair. So we'll see. Look how the color changes. I think that's really, really cool. But again, I'm using a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. And people do granny squares differently. I don't know how many people do their granny squares this way, but this is the way I do it. I've done it since I learned years ago, because when I learned, they were requesting that I use a larger hook. They were requesting the pattern, or the book was saying that I also needed to do like chains in between each cluster, and I was just like, eh. So these groups of 3 or clusters of 3 are often associated with the granny square, and there's a lot of different things you can do with the granny square. And then I got really fancy and I bought this book called 99 Granny Squares, and it was just 99 different ways to do squares. And what really attracted me to the book was the book had a granny triangle, which I thought was just awesome. But look at that, the way the color changes, and that blue is really pretty. And the cool thing about it is that while I have not fully committed to using this kind of coral or pink as a trim, because it does come in here somewhere, it's very similar, seeing this blue made me think to myself, well, maybe I want to put a little bit of sparkle on there. So I haven't committed yet, but we'll see. A lot of times as I work through it, I figure it out. But so please make sure that when you see this video, for those of you who are catching it on the replay, that you share it with your fellow crafty crocheters, knitters. I am still gathering my things to begin teaching crochet and knit combination courses in the context of doll making and really cool stuff for the My Kind of Thing University. Just want to finish up projects and already existing courses before I start on anything new. I want to close out the old things. So be sure to share this with your people, because it's about to get really real in the My Kind of Thing University. But yes, I'm super excited. And I see now why they call this yarn ice cream. Because this little appearance of the white really just kind of came out of nowhere. I'm also curious as to how cool it's going to look once it's done. It's so funny because I'm not accustomed to using a hook this big, and for most people a 4.5 millimeter hook is not that big of a deal, but to me it is. Hey Aisha, I'm excited because I think it's going to look really cool. Again, one of the reasons why I like using the mixes for this particular project is because it really does allow you to freely create the square and get the color changes really nice without having to worry about going back and tucking strings. This is a 3-ply yarn, which is not usually what I use, so I may have to do a couple more things to when I write it out. I might have to do a whole nother one. Well, it's written out. When I do the photos to accompany it, it may actually have to be a 4-ply yarn just because of sizing and gauging, because this is working out small, which means I'm gonna have to add some rows. But yeah, I'm excited because it looks good already. But yeah, this is just one of the million things I'm in here trying to work on and get done. My secret project is going very, very nicely. Super proud. Yep. But if you are interested in taking a course, there is a whole course that will teach you from start to finish how to create the My Kind of Thing University Lovey. And you know what I just realized? You all might be talking and I might not be hearing you or seeing because for some reason this iPad does not show me comments, and it's the weirdest thing ever. I don't know, but I'm going to have to kind of look on the outside. Hold on, let me just make sure. Oh, thank you, Aisha. See? Of course, the comments aren't coming up on the other iPad, so I have to kind of watch while I work from another device. But you see, when it's done, it's going to be really cool. But yeah, I'm excited. And then the other thing about doing a granny square this way is that it goes faster than having to remember to put a space in between each cluster. Hey Tanisha. So, and then muscle memory allows me to remember that it's 3 double crochets per cluster. So it's just so easy and fluid to do it this way, opposed to the other ways. But it's gonna be super cute. And shout out to Dawn Jessie because she sent me a whole bunch of pacifiers in different colors. Hey Heidi, welcome, welcome, welcome. And so I have a cool little selection to choose from for the actual head of the Lovey. So I haven't decided. I'm gonna have to kind of make a choice. Of course, y'all know I kind of have a overstimulation kind of issue where sometimes I have too much good stuff and can't quite narrow down how to use, which one to use or what to pick. It's always some cool supplies. How cool is that? And just that quick, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. Look at that. And it just grows and grows and grows as you go. Really, really cool. One of my other favorite aspects is creating the edge or the trimming, which is kind of cool. Um, but yeah, I think one of the cool things I recommend for doing this is if you are one of those people that don't like to have to tuck strings and with all the color changes, get a really nice mix that you like and just let the yarn do what it do. Hey, Emlyn, happy belated birthday. I feel like I breezed by and didn't get a chance to wish you a happy birthday. So happy birthday. But yeah, so my Lovey is particularly cute because in addition to it being a simple design as far as the blanket part, it's a granny square, but one of the things I think is how much people forget how absolutely cool the granny square actually is. I mean, it's simple, but it's a really cool and quick technique. I know most people do the Lovey with the star pattern or the ripple pattern, which is also very, very cool. But I like the simplicity of the granny square. And then my Lovey, I give my Lovey little feet, which I actually was inspired by Blue Rabbit Toys, account that I followed on Instagram. She had did these little bunny Loveys, and she would give them feet, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I want mine to have little feet too. So, but of course, they're my kind of thing feet. For those of you who've taken some of my courses, you're probably familiar with certain ways in which I create different types of shapes for different things. But yeah, look at that. I had to tell you, as a fan of the color blue, I think I'm loving this. I wonder if I have another blue that's closer to this. But I'm excited because it's going to be really cute. And surprisingly, did not think that I would do this much on camera, but that just goes to show you how fast the granny square is done. And I mean, I do crochet fast though, but I didn't think I'd get this much done on camera. But if you're interested in taking the Lovey course, I believe it's a 5-part series where you learn how to create the Lovey head with the open mouth for the pacifier, which is a very useful technique that is transferable to other aspects of crochet and doll making in particular. If you are creative, you can figure out numerous ways in which you want to use different techniques that you learn. But in addition to that, the arms or limbs of the Lovey, the wig cap and ears for the Lovey. And so, like I said, a lot of my techniques and things are interchangeable. You can mix and match techniques. You can apply these techniques to other crochet things, not just dolls. But that's one of the reasons why my courses are usually done in an open-ended kind of fashion, meaning that there are things that I teach that are not necessarily etched in stone, meaning that you can take things out, add things to it in such a way where it's fluid. It's not just do it this way, this is the only way. And I think that's what makes them really, really cool and valuable if you are an avid crocheter. Wait till I put that knitting in there for y'all. It's gonna really blow your minds. Um, but I'm gonna finish up this last row. Hey, Deandra. And I will allow for you all to watch and share with your people. This is just a sneak peek of what my students have learned in the Lovey course. If you're interested in taking the course is $50, and you have access to the content of that course. As of right now, it's unlimited access, meaning you can access it at any given time. I've been working on moving some things around and doing some different things in other places, but you'll definitely know what's happening with that when I finalize these things. I think I'm just going to do all new things in another space. I think that I might go with that rather than moving things completely. Because it's just so many different things that we can do in crochet, so many different combinations of skills, so many different new skills, and so I'm excited. Hey Jasmine, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm gonna just finish up this last row and get back to, because I still have to put the face on my ballerina. It's so funny, you all chose the brown eyes with the gold, and it's funny because that's initially what I had did, but then I was like, I don't know if my customer will like gold trim, not gold trim, but gold accent mixed with the brown. So I painted another pair with brown sparkles on the off chance that my customer would be like, nah, you're doing too much. Because, sometimes it's like that. But pretty much she agreed with the rest of you that the gold sparkles with the brown eyes is the one that she liked. So I thought that was cool. So look at that. You gotta forgive my ashy hands. Wash my hands a lot throughout the course of the day, so it's like that. But look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows. And one of the other things I like about doing it the way that I do it is that it's very difficult to see where I started. Very, very excited about that. But let me just show y'all. These are and funny enough, as much as I like sparkles and things that stand out, I actually really liked the brown sparkle. So I'm going to save these for something cool. But the people have spoken, particularly the person who the design is for. And I'm super excited because it's going to look really, really pretty. Ooh, of course. And of course I dropped it, but I'll pick it up. I don't want to mess up the camera angle. But I also did them in smaller sizes because I'm still not sure about whether or not the size is right for her face. So I did a second pair in a smaller size. But definitely let your people know. And please feel free to like, share, comment, tag. Ooh, I'm ashy. But that's how it be when you be in here working and hustling. And of course, I'll be sharing the photos when the design is finished. Thank y'all so much for joining. Make sure you comment if you're watching the replay. Ask questions, because this is definitely the place and space where we do the teaching and demonstrating version of all of the wonderful things that happens in the My Kind of Thing University. I will catch y'all later. Y'all have a great Thursday, or as I like to call it, almost Friday day.